Okay, so next we said we were going to go over to Soundtrap. So first I'm going to show you the setup that I have for Soundtrap. I do not expect everybody to have this setup, but we can use Soundtrap without even having a keyboard. If you do have a keyboard, however, it's pretty nice. So I'm just going to show you what mine looks like. So I'm going to come over here. So this is my keyboard. It's pretty schwanky. I really like it. And then under here, I've got this, which is called an audio interface. And this audio interface is the part that actually connects my keyboard to the computer. But of course, if you have a MIDI, like a USB, it should be able to connect to my computer. And then I have my computer just sitting up top. Okay, so now we're moving to the last piece of the puzzle, which is Soundtrap. So the very first thing when we pull up Soundtrap and we've signed in, it's going to look similar to this. This is the teacher view, so it's not exactly the same. The first thing I'm going to do is enter the studio. And like I said, since I have a keyboard, I'm going to plug in my keyboard with USB. But if you don't have USB keyboard, you can also use your typing keyboard. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. So once it loads up here, I'm going to click on music. As soon as I click on music, I'm going to plug in my USB. And if I play a couple notes, sorry, if I play a couple notes, it should show. If it's not showing, I'm going to go to settings. I'm going to click on MIDI settings. And right now it shows the wrong thing. I want it to play out of my keyboard. And as soon as I play a couple notes, it connects here. All right, so all I have to do to bring my my MIDI in here, there's a couple different ways. I can open a MIDI, but the easiest way is actually to drag and drop, and you're not going to be able to see me drag and drop it because I'm just broadcasting the tab right now, but I'm dragging and I'm dropping it in here. I'm going to drop it at measure 1. When I listened back to this just before I started recording, I did not like the shaker part at all, so I'm going to erase the shaker part. We can add some percussion later if we want to, but I didn't like how it sounded. Now, when I'm writing a melody, a sad melody, when I was listening to this initially, if I press enter, this cursor here shows us where in the song we are. So when I listened to it, I felt like 120 beats was too fast. So I'm going to slow it down. I'm going to slow it in half. So this is going to be now 60 beats per minute. And yes, you are correct. That means 1 beat per second. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a loop so that I can write it part by part. Since I have 16 bars, I'll do it by 4 bar loops. There's kind of 4 parts to that little song. So as long as this is highlighted purple, then it's going to loop after 4 bars. Okay, now I'm going to create a new instrument that is going to be my melody instrument. So for my melody, I'm going to choose, I'll choose cello. So if I click on the instrument here, it's under strings. I'll go up to the top and I'll use a chamber cello. Chamber just means that it's in a smaller group. If I used orchestra cello, then it would be like a really big group of cellos. But since I want just one cello sounding, I want to play it just like that. So if I double click it, it takes me to these notes here. Now, where it has me playing this melody is pretty high. So I'm going to lower this octave down by 1. And now you can see it's a little bit lower. It sounds a little bit more like a cello. The notes I'm going to be, or the scale I'm going to be using is the A minor scale. So I'm just going to start on A and I'm going to finish on A. I'm only going to play white keys. That was a little bit too fast for my computer. Let's try that again. Okay, so first I'm just going to play it and I'm going to listen to it. I'm probably going to start on the note A and I'm just going to play around until I hear something I like. I am going to try to use lots of repetition. I'm going to use something like that. It's not perfect, but it'll be something like that. And we can always even manipulate that later too. If I wanted to use my keyboard to actually type in these notes, if you see here, there's letters that are written on each one of these keys, and that corresponds to the keys on your typing keyboard. So you can use that to be playing your melody too. I'm going to record that really simple melody that I had going on, and then I might change the durations and make sure that everything's exactly on point in a second. So if I hit record, I've got this get ready button. Gives me 2 measures. Okay, and I'm pretty happy with that. Just to see what it is that I actually played here, if I click, or if I had left it here and I click on piano roll, I can see the exact notes. Now, I didn't love this note here, but let's just go ahead and listen back to it. This one maybe could have started a little bit far more forward. So I can do a couple different things here. One thing I could do is I can highlight all of these notes, and I can control click them, and I can quantize. So if I quantize, that'll make it land exactly on the bar, but sometimes there's still mistakes here. And also right now I quantize to 16th notes. Let's see what happens when I try quantizing it to 8th notes. I'm probably going to undo both of those. So control click, quantize 8th, and let's just listen to what that sounds like now. I pushed 2 together there. Oh, so there was lots of mistakes there. So I'm going to go back to my original one, and I'm just going to eyeball this. If I've got all of these selected, then it's going to move all of them together. So I'm going to move that back. And back one more because I moved one. All right, so I'm going to select just one at a time. And you don't have to do every single note, but this will make it sound more perfect. Now this one, if I move it, it's actually going to pull me off here. But let's have a listen to what this sounds like. So I don't love this one here. I'm going to just erase it. And this one, I'm going to move it forward. And this one, I'm going to erase it. And let's see what that sounds like. Okay, I'm happy with the first 4 bars. Now we're going to move this loop to the next 4 bars. Now, again, I could be just writing these in with the keyboard. You could even draw in notes here, or you can copy and paste. Let's hear what this next part sounds like. All right, so if I played around with that. Okay, so one of the things that's kind of interesting about this first phrase is I don't end on the root note A, so it really doesn't sound like it's finished. This next one, I might actually try to make it sound like it's finished, so I'm going to make it end on A. I'm going to start on F, and then I'm going to bring it down just like I did there, and hopefully finish on A. So it's giving me the feed in. I'm pretty happy with that. And this one, I actually don't mind the rhythms that I played there. Maybe just that last one, I might make it a little bit shorter. Okay. All right, and I'm gonna do that for the next 4 bars. Now the next 4 bars we were moving around in the harmony a lot, so I'm gonna make my melody a little bit simpler. All right, I'm gonna set it on a loop. I forgot to highlight this. If I click on it, there, it should be on loop now. Okay, so I'm gonna make it really simple. Here we go. It's got my count in. I've already got an idea in my mind. All right, I might just get rid of that very last one. And then if I listen back on the piano, got my cursor started at the beginning here. Oops. All right, then I'm on to the very last 4. Now, I kind of probably want to sound like the beginning 4 or the second 4 because it was really similar harmony. Actually, it was the exact same harmony. So sad. And then with the repeated part. So first of all, I'm going to save my work. I could add drum tracks. I could add lots of other tracks too to make this sound even better. Once I have it saved, you can export as an MP3 file. You can share it to flat.io, which is really cool. Or you can export the MIDI and go back to Hook Theory if you wanted to. And all of those will open up, which is really nice. But for ours, you can either export it as an MP3 or you can share this actual document with me, which is also easy to do. Make sure that you label it. You might want to label it with your name and then sad song. And then you are done with this project.